Hey folks, and excuse me, welcome to week number 2. So we're gonna this week sort of settle into a Saturday and Thursday turn-in. We'll probably be kind of work on 2 turn-ins. Typically, sometimes we'll only have one. If we have an extra one, it'll be scheduled for Saturday. And why do we have it there? I tend to have you guys do a little bit of small work, maybe that's getting you prepped for the work that's going to be due the following Thursday. Gives you a couple days after our class session to do it, and just sort of get ready for our next round of work. Okay, so this week by Saturday, obviously watch the video, look over the plagiarism material. I'll walk you through all this stuff in just a second. That includes taking the Turnitin plagiarism quiz and taking a screenshot of it to upload. There's actually a quick tutorial about how to do that as well, I think. View the writing annotations video, and then look at the sample annotation, and then write an annotation of the scholarly article for essay 1. I'll get into this in just a second. And then for Thursday, I want you to read Delorto and Swither's pieces here. Again, links are below. Complete and submit the paraphrasing and quoting exercise. Then I want you to look at the sample popular scholarly source comparison, and then complete that using your own essays. I'll walk you through all this in just a second. And then finally, look over the Mla Citation info. So we can get down here. Obviously, remember these open and close. Got a few links here. So, did I plagiarize? Is a little infographic. It looks like this. It's a handy flowchart for me, I think, because it sort of helps me be able to point out to students if they're struggling. And plagiarism is something that can either be deliberate, get down to this identity theft, copycat end of things. Did you pay for someone else to write a paper? Did you copy large portions of it? That ends up down on this red end here. And then there's, of course, less serious but still problematic forms of plagiarism. Down here, did you mostly cite everything but got a little bit sloppy? These sorts of things, okay? So it sort of gives us this, let's say, a scale of the seriousness of plagiarism, okay? I want you to go through, please take a careful look over this. And then read briefly Ethical Use and Citing Sources. This is from one of our e-texts. And then the turned-in plagiarism quiz right here. Now, this is the quiz comes from Turnitin, which we'll use in class, and I'll always give you guys access to your own Turnitin reports so you can actually see what your Turnitin reports say as well. And Turnitin is just a service that officially it checks for plagiarism. What it really is checking for is evidence of source use in your paper. And it can show you things like, well, how much of your paper is quotations, for example. We'll talk about that as we get further into the semester. This is a quiz from them. Okay, so just take the quiz, and then at the end of that quiz, you'll get a screenshot showing, how you did. I'm not concerned with, obviously, I want you to do well on it. If you got 1 out of I think it's 11 questions or something. I'm a little bit concerned. But just upload a screenshot of that. And there's actually a quick link here on how to take a screenshot if you need it. Worst case scenario, pull out your phone, snap a photo of it, and upload it from there. Okay? And then, if you've got any more questions, after you've gone through the citation and plagiarism section, you're not sure, what the answer to this question is, little discussion board post here, go ahead and put it there, and I'll try to answer those in our class next week. Okay? So, that's our plagiarism section for this week. Writing annotations. Now, an annotation here, there's a whole video on how to do this, but an annotation, okay, it's sort of like a summary, but it's got a little bit more information with it. So I give you this kind of color-coded piece here, right? So it starts with an MLA formatted works cited entry, an introduction of the author, source, and goal. So the author, the source, in this case, the journal it's coming from, and then what the goal of their piece was, okay? Then a section that explains the study structure, what they were, how they attempted to answer a question, what questions they did answer, and then an assessment of their credibility. Okay, and that assessment of credibility is one of the things that deviates from just a quote unquote summary, right? What makes this credible or not credible? Okay, so these different pieces here. I like to give you guys samples anytime I have the opportunity to do so, so you will see lots of samples. Anytime I can give you one, I try to give you one. Now, what do you submit here? So, you guys saw the essay assignment last week. This week, you should have picked out a pair of a popular article and the scholarly source on which it is based, okay? What I want you to do is write an annotation of the scholarly source for this. You do not need to write an annotation of your popular source, just your scholarly source. That is what will go here. This will be our first step towards essay number 1, okay? I want to see that you've read and understood that essay, or excuse me, that study, okay? All right, I'm going to actually close this up just to get it out of my way. Paraphrasing and quoting work. So, there is a template here. I use a lot of templates in class. You'll get used to this. These are Word documents. If you've got a Chromebook, or you have got a Mac or an Apple computer, should be fun. You can download these things. If you got a Chromebook, it should open natively in Google Docs. There's a tutorial in the how-to tech tutorial section that will walk you through how to turn it back into a Word doc to upload it again. Okay. So they're working on getting Google Docs integration taken care of in D2L, but it is not done yet. So it's a very basic template, just a quick grid, okay? So this is what it looks like. I want you to download this and work from within that. I'm going to go all the way back to week 2 here again. Okay. There's a video on the difference between quoting and paraphrasing. Please watch that. And then sample paraphrasing and quoting template. And this is, again, these templates sometimes sort of illustrate what we're supposed to be doing here. Now, this relies upon the Susan Swither's article. Okay. I don't know that it's critically important to know that, but that's what's going on here. What we see is the quotation here in red, okay? And what I want you to do is practice writing a quotation and a paraphrase, okay? So you've got the source text here. So this is the quote from the scholarly article. And what you could use your scholarly article to do this. This is just about practice. I don't really care what you're using for it, but the scholarly article is a good thing. So, quotation. What you will do is put the source text over here, and then over on this side you will introduce that quotation, okay? And then over here you will put a citation and explain it, okay? Now, same thing for the paraphrase section. You're going to put that direct quotation, that material from the text that you want to use over here. Then over here, you're going to work it in your own words. So you're putting the information from this text on the left into your own words on the right. Okay, so it's the source information, but not the source words. And that's the difference, of course, between a quote and a paraphrase. And you'll see that in the quote versus paraphrase video, okay? So using your scholarly article, I want you to download the template. We'll get back here again. A lot of back and forth today, I'm sorry. So I want you to download this template here, and then using your scholarly article, put a direct quote on the top and the bottom, quote it once on the top, and then on the bottom, of course, just paraphrase it. Put that information into your own words, okay? And that can be submitted right here. And then, Essay 1 prep. Okay, so there's a popular scholarly comparison here. Again, there's another template. It looks a lot like the last one. All right. Now, this worksheet here is really designed to help you start comparing your popular and scholarly article. And again, your popular article is a news piece that was written based upon either a press release or maybe access to the full scholarly article that you are also looking at, okay? So, what you're going to do here is think about, well, in the popular article, what's their stated goal? In the scholarly study, what's their stated goal or their stated research question, okay? What does this popular article say about study design? What does the scholarly article say about study design? In other words, I want you to start thinking here about how well does the popular article explain the study design that's done in the scholarly article versus what the scholarly article actually did. Also, there's a section here on results and then caveats and discussions. And I want to come back to that in just a second. Okay. Again, I give you a sample here, and these use these two articles below, okay? So I note here, of course, like, it's a popular article. There isn't a study involved, that said. It merely cites the conclusions that Swithers make. There's no explanation of what research was done to come to these conclusions. So that's one of the things we might look at, right? Is, does the popular article explain how the research was done? Okay? Those sorts of things. Okay, results. So Delorto's article concludes that drinkers of diet soda gain more weight than those who don't. Okay, it also notes those folks are more likely to suffer from diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. And then again, over here, the scholarly study, Swithers, here kind of goes through and talks in far more detail about what she says about how she came to the conclusion she came to. Then finally, there is a section down here called caveats and discussions. And this is a place to put any additional notes you've got, right? If you're starting to see a place where the popular article is falling down, that's absolutely something you want to point out here, right? If it's missing this. So you might note they don't discuss blah, 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 right? Maybe they don't talk about the fact that the sample population in a study was only people who were over 65 years old. That would obviously change sort of what we're looking at, okay? So this is just a place for you to put any additional notes we've got. All right. I'm going to go back down here again. The two articles upon which this popular scholarly template is based are linked here. This is the popular article, Delorto down here, and then Swithers is the scholarly article. Give Delorto a read. It's a very quick read. It's like a page. Give Swithers a scan. You don't need to read it end to end, but it'll help you understand how that information is getting pulled out of here and ending up in the popular scholarly template, okay? All right, finally, go over your Mla citation. These are from Purdue's Online Writing Lab, and then Citation Basics from me, okay? A lot of bits and pieces this week. I don't think it's a ton of work, but it's just lots of little things. As always, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to let me know.